So in this video, I will be talking about logarithmics and how they apply to the real world and different ways you can apply them to different equations. So I'm going to start off with the basics. Log base 10 over 100. And first, let's talk about what this means. So in this equation, it's essentially, all you need to know is the power of. So everybody knows what 10 to the power of 2 is, right? It's just 10 times 10. That equals to 100. Well, what this essentially means is the base goes down here as the log is just the power of, so we can call that x, as this means that. So this equals to that. That is essentially what it's saying. And it's easy to solve this one because it's straightforward and they're perfect squares. So x would equal to 2. So the answer to this equation would be 2. And on a calculator, it usually only gives you two choices. You can either have a base of 10 or a base of e, and we'll get into that later. But you see, in this, you usually can't do the base of 5 unless you have a certain type of calculator. So what we do here is we're going to talk about one of the rules. And in this equation, basically, let me write it real quick. So essentially, when you have an equation like this, you'll get the same answer if you put it in this form as long as the x's are the same. So basically, this is what it looks like, right? This is C, this is the B, right? The x doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what number that is as long as they're the same base. So you can turn this and turn it into this equation. Oh my god. As this only tries, this makes it so you can simplify it on a calculator. As for doing it on hand, it doesn't really change the process of it. It's still just as complicated. But now you can solve it on a calculator like this. And now, as for why this works, let's go over just a little bit more difficult one. As you see here, this shows how you can apply logarithmics into a normal equation like this. So let's just say y is 36, right? Actually, no. Let's just make it 40. So it'd be 40 is equal to 6 times 2t. And what you can do here is, since you're timing it by 6, you can divide both sides by 6, and what you'll get here is 40 just divided by 6. And this might seem similar since this is what logarithmics basically are. And this makes it so you can write it as log base 2 over 40 over 6. And then when you have it like this, what you can do is, oh wait, no. It's essentially this, but what you do with this is, no. What you can also do, another way to do this, is go to log. Since they're the same, right? It doesn't matter what base, they're equal to each other. You can do this. And in this, right? It's 2 to the what power will equal 2t. That's t, of course. It'll be t equals log 2 over 40 over 6. And that's how you can apply it to a normal equation to simplify things a bit more. Now for this video, I want to talk about e and how it's got its number. E is also a part of logarithmics, which you can also write as ln, but we'll get to that later. And e, just like pi, is a number, except it is so long that they just decided to make it into a symbol. Now, talking about how e got its number, it's basically came from, it helps you see the most you'll pay for compound interest, and let's go over how it got it, e got its number. So basically, let's just say a compound interest is 100%. Let's just say for like 1 year, if you borrow something for 1 year, you have to pay 100% of it, right? $1, and it goes down for 100% of that. What is 100% of $1? That is 1. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now, say you only wanted to borrow for 6 months, but it's still the same 100% for 1 year. So they're going to charge you 1. This is a total of 100. Except now you cut it in half, and this is 50%, and the next is 50% too. And then what do you get here? 50% of 1 is 50 cents. So you get that. And then with the next, you take 50% of the number that you just got, which would be 0.75, and then you add it into that to 0.25. And the more you add on to it, the higher this number is going to get. So that's why you set out like a certain loan for however long you want it to be. Not like, say, you have to say, oh, I want it for 1 year to make it cheaper in some cases. So basically this number gets higher the more times you split it, no matter what. And that's why e is a symbol, because it keeps on getting bigger. You can split it however many times you want to get it closer to e as you want. You can split it 1,000,000 times, you can split it like 1,000,000,000,000 times. It just gets closer to e. That's why it's a symbol. And basically, with this being said, that's essentially how, that's basically just how e got its number.